Circle. Good boy. Spin. Good boy. Come here. Place. Good boy. Out. No, no. Here. Place. Free. Good boy. Loose. Oh, what are you doing? Come here. Loose. Good boy. Sits. Good boy. Right side. Right side. Good boy. Middle. Good boy. Loose. Oh, you silly. Loose. Good. Spin. Good boy. Circle. He's not the most amazing demonstration dog in the world, and I'm certainly not the most amazing trainer for that matter. But there's something I want to talk about today. I got into a little discussion with Melissa and Tino. She's a dog trainer, I believe, in New York. And kind of the gist of the discussion, argument, I guess, if you will, was, at least from my perspective, was why do we need to strive for excellence if our clients don't demand excellence? If our clients are impressed with just the dog lying down when you tell them to lie down and staying down, if the client, is happy with the dog just not pulling their arm off, who cares if the dog's right in position? If the dog is off playing and you call him and he immediately comes back, who cares if there's a correct finish or not? Because the clients don't really care about that. Now, I'm very familiar with this argument because it's an argument I used to make myself. It's an argument I used to agree with. And I've since changed my position on this over the years as I've thought about it more and more, especially with the internet not becoming more prevalent. I mean, the internet permeates every aspect of our lives at this point, and video is becoming more and more prevalent. And people are no longer in a position where they show up for your demonstration and you're the only dog trainer they've ever seen in person, or for that matter, necessarily on TV. It used to be maybe you'd see dogs in a TV show or something, you were impressed. But nowadays, every dog trainer is doing videos and putting their videos up on YouTube. When we first moved to Reno, Nevada, about 10 years ago, one of the first things I did, and I didn't have a dog training business in Reno at this time. I'd had two prior businesses. I had a small dog training business in Las Vegas, and I had a dog training business in Los Angeles. I would later end up setting up a dog training business in Reno, which I eventually sold to another dog trainer. But in the beginning, I went around to just kind of see what the landscape was like in this new city that we had moved to, and introduced myself to several established trainers. And one of the trainers was a gentleman who was kind of the big fish in the small pond, so to speak. He had a pretty nice facility. He did boarding, he did dog daycare, and of course training. And he was the trainer. And you'd hear his advertisements on radio, and you'd see him around town and stuff. And I went by and I introduced myself, and I had a fairly sizable following at the time. I was publishing a dog training tips newsletter that went out to about 65 to 70,000 dog owners, and had written several books at that point. And still introduced myself and said, I'm Adam Katz. I've owned dog training businesses before. I've written some books, and so it wasn't like I was just a newbie or a potential client coming in. I introduced myself as a professional dog trainer. And the gentleman got immediately defensive, which, as I learned later, was not all that uncommon for this individual. And through the course of the conversation, I asked, I said, let me see your dog. Do you have a dog? You can show me what some of your training looks like. And he went into this very defensive stance about how his main dog, his demonstration dog, had died about 18 months earlier, and that dog, of course, was just amazing. And I said, well, okay, well, what do you got now? He said, well, I've got a puppy now, but I can't show you anything. I was like, well, why not? He says, oh, well, the dog's not ready. Okay, well, your dog died 18 months ago. It's been 18 months. You have a puppy now. Like, you can't even show me like some of the puppy stuff you're doing with the dog. I mean, you look at some of you guys out there in internet land, you guys are taking young dogs out and working them on on the strip in Las Vegas, or the promenade in Santa Monica, around all kinds of distractions. But this guy, even in his own facility, wasn't willing to show me what he had. And so my next question was, well, you must have some video you can show me, right? I mean, you're selling dog training. You don't have some video of your demonstration dogs? No, didn't want to show me that too. Didn't want to show me that either. Now, why? Why? Because he knew I was a professional dog trainer myself, and he knew that I would be judging him not based on the standards that a green client who walks in the door knows nothing would be judging him, but judging him by the standards of another professional. And here's what made it worse. Without any proof, without any dog, without any video, he assured me that he was the best. He was the best, numero uno. And when I inquired, do you mean like the best in Reno, Nevada? No. He was the best. Okay, anybody with half a brain, okay, any client with half a brain is going to look at that kind of braggadocio. Is going to say, get the heck out of here. Now, obviously, the guy still has a successful business, okay? You can fool half the people half the time. But as the internet continues to permeate all aspects of our life, and as video becomes a bigger and bigger part of that, the general public is going to become more and more educated. And they're going to see two things. They're going to see dog trainers with sloppy obedience, dogs that aren't paying attention, dogs that don't come immediately back, dogs that just don't look good, versus dogs that do. So the question is, which camp do you want to be in? Now, this is footage I took of dog trainer Fred Hassan over 10 years ago, so you can imagine how much better he is now even. Just watch this for a second, and then I'll comment about it afterwards.
Guard, quiet, down. Guard, quiet, sit, guard, down. Quiet, down. Heel, quiet, up, down, down. Boy, heel, over, touch. Cut, over, down, out, down. 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 Cut. Down. Out. Out. Down. Turn. Turn. Up. Turn. Up. 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 Go up. Front. Go up. Turn. Turn. Up. 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 Cut. Out.
Now, I've showed that video over the years to many, many people, and everybody I've shown it to has responded with the same response. They all say, "Wow, I would love to have a dog like that." Okay, so now watch this video. I don't know who this is. I just randomly pulled it off YouTube.
Hi, I'm Jim Gursani, and I'm the dog trainer here at the Petco and Sports Arena. Methods are effective. Sit down. Good girl. And our methods are guaranteed, or you can retake the class. Above all else, our methods are humane. We have a lot of love for the dogs here. We try to build a strong bond between pet parent and canine. We've learned that if the dogs do it in a voluntary positive action, you can build a much stronger bond between you and the canine and get on a whole new level of communication. Good girl, good girl.
Now, this guy, Jim, he communicates well. He seems like a nice enough guy. I'm sure he is. But compare the video with Jim to the video with Fred Hassan. Now, set aside whether or not you like Petco or PetSmart or whoever the company you was with, or whether you like or you don't like sit means sit and remote collars, the training methodology, this or that, just based on watching these two clips and you are a dog owner, you're not a professional dog trainer, which of those two clips is going to make you say, wow, man, I want that? I think anybody who's honest, who's intellectually honest, is going to say that the former video, the one of Fred Hassan, is 1,000 times more impressive than the one of Jim. Now, you don't need to be a Fred Hassan. You don't even need to be a Fred Flintstone for that matter. But the point is that we as professional dog trainers, we need to keep striving to get better and better. And what that means is that we need to demonstrate flashy dogs. We need to demonstrate dogs that hold their head high, that hold their tail high, that look like they're happy and they're having fun and they're enjoying what they're doing. Because that level of flash, that quick response, and higher level training, that's really what it comes down to. You're not impressing somebody with a fast recall, because a fast recall is equivalent to Usain Bolt tying his shoes quickly. Nobody cares. Nobody that's such a low standard. Judging by how fast the dog sits or how fast the recall, how fast the dog turns and recalls. If he comes back to you and he's sloppy, if you start to walk and the dog lies down and he's blocking you and you're tripping over him when you try to walk forward, straight sits, straight heels. The dog's not forging. The dog's not lagging. He's in position. It paints a perfect picture, and that's the picture that all of us as professional dog trainers should be striving for. Hey, I don't know if I'm making any sense. So let me know below in the comments what your thoughts are. My main point that I'm trying to get across here is that we need to hold high standards for ourselves as professional dog trainers. And even though the dog training public at this point in time is real impressed with a downstay, with just a dog that lies down or a dog that simply comes back to you, that's not going to last. In this day and age with YouTube and with online video, people are seeing the difference between the former, the Fred Hassan video, and the latter, the video of Jim. So the question I ask you is, what type of trainer do you want to be? And again, I'm not talking about training methodologies. I'm talking about setting certain standards and having a dog that when you go out in public wows people. So what kind of trainer do you want to be? I'm Adam Katz for dogtrainertoolbox.com. If you need to grow your dog training business, head on over to dogtrainertoolbox.com. We have a number of resources, services, even a bunch of free stuff to help you get from wherever you are now to where you've always dreamed of being with your dog training business. I'm Adam Katz, been locked up in quarantine for several weeks now, kind of losing my mind. Probably wouldn't have done this type of video otherwise. I wish you well. Stay safe.